Alright, and here is the video review for Ocular Max Perfection Series PS-04 AZALEA, their version of RC. They did do a stealth version of this in gray and darker gray with a scary face for TFCon. This is just the standard AZALEA version here in her car mode. She's the little old hover car, although she does have some very thin wheels with a little rubber gasket, basically, as a tire on each of them. You can see how she kind of is folded up, arms up here. Underneath, she's got two pistols back here, which you can remove. Just like that. She also comes packaged, this fin is an extra piece that I've attached. She comes packaged with this much smaller and tinier little gray piece to cover up this gap. And which is actually pink plastic painted gray to match this gray plastic. So it's not a quite 100% match, but it does the job well enough. But yeah, you can have it just like that. Personally, I prefer to have the little fin, but this makes it a little bit more cosmetically matching in the back in robot mode. But you don't really see it, so whatever. But this is very tiny and very easy to lose. I almost considered not even showing that off in the video and just just holding it up and talking about it, because it sticks in there pretty well and it's very easy to flip that off and lose that tiny little piece. It's about the size of a grain of rice. So be careful of that. We're going to transform her with the fin, the little antenna on here. The toilet is running and it is done. So yeah, that's basically her in vehicle mode. She rolls, and that's about it. She's got some little seats here, which are cool. And then, like I said, you can have the guns mounted back here as well. To transform into robot mode, the one drawback, and like I said, she comes with several pairs of hands, including one to hold the pistols, but the only ones that really fit in vehicle mode are the fists. So you have to do some part swapping if you want her to use the guns in robot mode. And it would be nice if it was designed in such a way that the included hands that fit in robot mode could hold the pistols that go on vehicle mode, or just leave the pistols in the package and just have her transform without any weapons. Like I said, that's my personal preference, but the transformation is cool, and we'll get to it. So come down here, go ahead and take these seats. You can do this at any point, but flip these down into there. Untab these panels here and get this whole assembly lifting up and moving. Go ahead and extend the arms. I'm doing this a little bit out of order of the instructions, but so do that. Then come back here. You can see this little white peg here comes to the plastic. Lift this up off of that. You can also unpeg this inner piece here. It will come on automatically unpegged as you do this, but it's a little safer to go ahead and lift those up and then untab this outer piece here. On this, just get that up and out of the way. Take this wheel, lift it up, straight up like that, at which point you can take the leg, lift it up out of this hole, fold the wheel back in to the leg, and it'll kind of collapse a little further in this time since the leg's out of the way. You can see this sits over the leg. This is now inside the thigh. This piece right here, lift up, open up this panel around like this, rotate it around like that, and then close it in basically to fill in her thigh. Oops, and if you push too far, this panel does collapse into the thigh. So fold it in like that, and then kind of push that down so it matches the angle of the leg. Extend the knees here, take the shin and straighten the shin out correct like that, and then flip down her toe. See, she's got some ankle tilt, both front to back, as well as side to side there. There's a little pin hinge. Do the same on the other leg. Lift up the wheel. Lift up the leg. Fold the wheel back in. Like that. Lift this up. Flip it around. Rotate it. And then into the leg. Bring it down. Snap this whole assembly into the upper hip. Bring that down just like that. Oh, you can wait until you get it arranged down here, but you've got some range of movement in the hip. Should rotate here as well, but anyway. And again, fix the shin, fix the toe. There, her legs are done. Just kind of leave these hanging out back here for the time being. Come up here, lift this up, lift her whole arm assembly forward, and her neck comes up on this assembly. Similar to old school Azalea, but not as terrifying. So lift that up, lift these up, slide this on here. This should fold down like that. These should rotate out. Oh yeah, these come out and they'll rotate. So you're gonna rotate around. So plug this up. This is gonna fold down onto her back. So that works. Okay, like that. You can face up. Anyway, we'll deal with the backpack in a minute, but lift this up. Make sure these are out. You want these to go inside. There you go, inside here, like that. So that's what the back should look like right now. But we'll lift the head up, and then this whole assembly, you can go ahead and rotate her arms down, fold this panel in to fill in her bicep. Oh, was all that off camera? All right, so as it happens, I just went back and reviewed all that. Some of that was up, most of that actually ended up being on camera, some of it did not. But yeah, so basically, lift these up, fold, pull these out to the side and extend them, fold this panel, fold the front end of the car into here, and this whole panel comes down around to the back. Lift up her head, bring her arms down, and then fold this whole assembly. You can see the hinge right here. Fold that back until it locks into place, and it will click into place, although that's a disturbing gap there. Although it doesn't look like anything's broken, it's just how that's sitting. Okay, whatever. So fold this in. This whole assembly, the outer assembly, comes out on the backpack. It should come past this. There we go. So it comes up here. You can see some slots here. This is going to clip into. So bring this up and around behind these pieces. Fold them into those shells. And one side of this always likes to, for whatever reason, never wants to fold in there all the way. It will eventually. It takes some wiggling, but I've never understood why one side will lock properly. Like this side just folds right out, and this side keeps wanting to be kind of a butt about it. There we go, like that. You also make sure that this squares back into here, and then these panels rotate in to give her the proper shoulder configuration. She's got a little bit of an ab crunch. You stand her up on her feet and fix her arms so she doesn't look all googly moogly. It's just a matter of getting her to balance. Hopefully we get the ankles flat. It would be nice if she had a little bit more of a flip out heel. Her heels, as you can see, are just straight flat, which is accurate, but hard to get her. Like if she gets falling backwards, you got to wiggle those feet. I don't know why this is off. Because like it looks like there's a gap there, and like that's not even stress. It's just a piece of flash. Like there's nothing busted in here. It's just for whatever reason there's just a little bit of a gap there. I'll have to look into that. But I don't think there's anything wrong inside there. And I don't remember it doing that last night. But anyway, there she is. She's got a swivel head here, a ball joint at the top of her neck. I do wish this sat a little lower. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now her neck doesn't look as weird. You can see the hinge underneath it, and it looked like her head was just kind of free floating. But you can move her head all around. Got dual hinges at the shoulders, bicep swivel, dual hinged elbows that bend very well. She does have a bicep swivel, or forearm. She does not have a forearm swivel, but a wrist swivel. Although they're just ball joint wrists, you can pop those out. She's got a waist swivel, an ab crunch, ratcheting hips in both directions, well, ratcheting out to the side, and then fairly tight hips front to back. She does have a swivel right here where the gray meets the white. Again, really nice knee hinges all the way around, and then that ankle tilt side to side as well as front to back, and then some toe articulation. So fairly posable. Lots of options for how you want to get her to stand. She comes with, like I said, she comes with her pistol. She comes with 3 pairs of hands. 1 pair that holds the pistols. We'll swap some of these out. And then a couple of pairs that are just open hands, and they're very subtle. One hand is an open hand that's more flat, and the other hand is just kind of a flat palm that has a little bit of a curve to it. You can see, like, one hand is flat and one hand is curved, but you get one of those for each side. And they're really easy to swap out. Like I said, this is a little ball joint. You just pop out one hand and pop in another. So now she's got a curved hand. Again, I'm sure there's some specific poses you can recreate with those hands, but they are not visually wowing me. The curved hands. Now the gun hands, so here they are in vehicle mode, and then you just flip this handle down, which reveals the trigger and a little tab. Although the tab does not, actually that's just for vehicle mode, it doesn't actually peg into her hands. But then you can see you just take the hand, and it's far easier to do this before you put the hands on, because otherwise if you're trying to wiggle the gun into the hand, you're going to keep popping the hand off. So attach the hand in there, and the finger will go into the little trigger guard. You can see that little peg just kind of sits in her against her palm. And then plug it in, and she can hold her pistols. And you can do that on both sides. That's the other problem too, is getting the hands around the pistol grip oftentimes will cause the pistol grip to want to fold back in. There we go. It's just a matter of coming at it at just the right angle. And here she is with both of her pistols. She also comes with 3 alternate faces, and the instructions specifically say to just pry her head apart. There is a little tab here, a little gap here, and you just pop the front of her helmet off, pop out the faceplate, just kind of push back, and she's got creepy doll face, or concerned face, I guess. Oh, come on, go together. So she's got kind of a, oh no, trouble. She's got more of a smiley face. There we go. It's a bigger smile than her standard face here. Still a little creepy. And then she's got her, it doesn't fold down like Hot Rods does, MP Hot Rods, but she does have a little visor face here. Like that. So she's all ready to target something. Personally, I think the standard face looks the best. The one that comes packaged, just the kind of neutral-esque, but the smile face isn't bad. But I think that just looks more like RC. She's generally pretty calm. Go ahead and put her head back together. And yeah, there is Azalea. Real quick, I have not forgotten. Let's get her standing here first. And she doesn't come with a foot stand like her MMC version did. Because, and we have her here. Here she is with her IDW, did I say MMC or IDW version? Much taller, much rounder, more RC-esque. Although again, this was actually a pretty decent representation of the comic book RC at the time, so I can't knock it for that. But you know, if you want more of a G1 RC, there's Azalea is the one you want. And here she is with the official Masterpiece Hot Rod. And they look good together. Like I said, the transformation's neat, and I think it's one of the better RCs that we've gotten from third parties, because I've seen some really bad ones. I have not messed with Fans Toys yet, so I can't tell you how it compares. But she looks good with Masterpiece Hot Rod. We just saw pictures of Siege Springer earlier, like at least of his helicopter mode today. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. Maybe she'll look good with him too. Yeah, like I said, it's a very nice representation of G1RC, one of the more elegant ones we've seen. My only real complaint, one, that tiny little gray piece, which I feel may already, oh, here it is. That is going to be so easy to lose. Although, again, if you have the antenna, then who cares? But, and also, I do wish that since the guns can store in vehicle mode, I do wish that the hands that, it wasn't just the closed fists that can't hold anything. I wish they weren't the only fists that fit in vehicle mode easily. I mean, you could probably wedge these in there, but they'd be sticking out the front, whereas these fit right in. But there it is, Ocular Max PS-04 Azalea.